Just stories, the kind that never grow old. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Therese. Just stories, the kind that never grow old, by Winfrid Herbst, SDS. Preface and Introduction. Good books are wise counselors. They point out the right way in the devious paths of life. Have we not often stood at the juncture of two roads, the one of righteousness and the other of unfaithfulness? And was it not then that some golden little book acted the part of an opportune adviser, and directed us down the highway of truth? Is there one of us who can truthfully say that good books have not been his loyal, trustworthy helpers, his vigilant guardians in life's intricate ways? Introduction. This unpretentious little book of goodness stories, a companion volume to Tell Us Another, must speak for itself. But should there be some who seek an explicit reason for its appearance, they may perhaps find it in the following rather dull exposition, and so be it that they diligently seek. And, since this book must speak for itself, the reader of these lines is kindly invited to imagine that in speaking thus. One day, while walking through a garden, it so chanced that I saw a bee upon a blossom. I put out my hand and caught it. It stung me not. I wondered much, and said, "Busy little bee, why dost thou not sting me?" Then did the bee buzz gently, and say, "Why should I sting thee, since thou art so near akin to me?" And I answered and said, "How is it that I am akin to thee, busy little bee?" And the bee said, "I fly from pretty flower to pretty flower, and I delve into the blossom's deepness, and I take therefrom the hidden sweetness, and I change it into sweeter honey within my body's neatness, and then do I place it into the honeycomb for others to eat. That is why I am like to thee, little book." Much more did I wonder at the bee's talk, and again did I say, "But how am I like to thee, busy little bee? Do I delve into the blossom's deepness? Do I take therefrom the hidden sweetness? Do I change it into sweeter honey within my body's neatness? And do I place it into the honeycomb for others to eat? My busy little bee, for you to tell me this is but meet." Then did the bee seem to smile upon me, and it buzzed and whispered into mine ear, and said, "Thou art the honeycomb, thou art the sweetness, and with thee there are all kinds of neatness. Listen, little book. Thou dost fly from flower to flower, and draw out booky sweetness, and thou dost change it into sweeter honey, in words of booky neatness, and thou dost put that word-made honey into honeycombs of pages, to be eaten by the loving minds of many springtime ages." Then did I smile a happy smile, and I petted the bee and said, "Wise little bee, how dost thou come to know it?" And the bee answered, "Oh, I saw thee at work amidst the blossoms here." Then I turned to look at the blossoms whose neatness had dropped into me, and while I was looking, away flew the bee. End of preface and introduction. Chapter 1 of Just Stories, the Kind That Never Grow Old, by Winfrid Herbst, SDS. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Therese. The Little Girl Who Was Not Afraid. It was during the fierce war between France and Russia. One evening a detachment of Russian soldier scouts, we might call them, I suppose, halted at the little village of Dijon in France. They straightway made it known that they would remain in the town during the night, and, because there was no other building large enough to shelter them all, the officer in charge declared that the men would take up their quarters in the church. Wasn't that a dreadful thing to do? Of course it was. But in war all kinds of horrible things are done. The citizens of the place at once held a meeting to see what steps were to be taken. Nothing could be done. They would have to submit. It would not have been so bad if the Blessed Sacrament had not been in the church. And the parish priest was away. He had been called to a dying person far out in the country, and would not be able to get back before the next day. "Well," said one of the townspeople, "friends, we ourselves must remove the Blessed Sacrament from the tabernacle into the sacristy, where it will be safe, and not expose the desecration. Since the priest is not here, we may, and we even must do what he would do. Who will carry the Blessed Sacrament into the sacristy?" They asked John, a youth who acted as sacristan. He shrank back. "No, I cannot."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?